It's time for Quarantine Cabaret and Cocktails with Robert Bannon and Lee Lessack.
Another week. It's Greek. It's a gyro.
I actually think it's called a gyro.
Would you like some hummus too? It's Mamma Mia reunion week on Quarantine Cabaret and Cocktail.
You know, I'm just going to say for all the public to hear that I was terrified to come to your house and look at your closet because of the getup that you bring on this show every week.
It is eclectic. I will never have to shop for Halloween ever again.
Wow. And everything you have in your house already, or do you sneak out during lockdown to the dollar store?
No, I love Amazon.
Oh,
Amazon is great.
Order.
Yes.
That's
but
fair.
The dollar store is open. I just don't want, Amazon.
I get it. How are you?
I am okay. We're doing okay. We are actually back in the school building here in New Jersey. Wow. So my education gig, my day job, is we're there. We're in person. No kids, but we're there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's intense. It's
an adventure.
That we have been producing and broadcasting this little show for 48 weeks?
Not at all.
It's kind of crazy, huh?
It started off with Amanda McBroom and Jessica Vosk and me and Lee having them on just to chat and have some fun. And it actually
started off with a cocktail on FaceTime.
Well, that is true.
Then, yeah.
That is true.
I can't believe it. Hard to believe.
True. Yes.
But crazy time.
And we're here a year later. And then to add the Broadway cast reunion series to our
So some people might not know about this, but as we're doing tonight, very randomly, I think our 4th or 5th week into this, a friend of mine had said, you should book Jake Ryan Flynn, who's this adorable kid who played Charlie in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory on Broadway and was in previews for Mrs. Doubtfire on Broadway. And he had released like a YouTube video at the beginning of quarantine. He rewrote the lyrics of Good Morning Baltimore from Hairspray as Good Morning Quarantine. And he made a video with his family and his neighbors and masks and toilet paper and all that. And it was adorable. So we booked him to come on the show. And his mom was texting me like a week before. And she said, Jake thought it might be fun to invite some of his castmates on if you're interested. And we said, sure. We have no format. Bring it. Yeah. And so the next thing we knew, we had the entire principal cast of Mrs. Doubtfire. And it was our first Broadway cast reunion. And it was such a heartwarming hour because it was the first time we talked about Broadway shutting down. And to hear that process and experience through the eyes like of a little 6-year-old girl that was in the cast, and Jake, who I think was 11, and then Rob McClure, whose wife had just had a baby, and because of Broadway shutting down, he was at home, not missing one single second. It was just a really sweet moment, and we noticed that our viewership kind of spiked. So then we deliberately planned every month or 6 weeks on this weekly show to do a cast reunion. And we did Frozen and Aladdin and the original principal cast of Sideshow, Tootsie, and it's been really fun. And we're thrilled tonight, of course, to have Mamma Mia. And but out of this series, I was chatting with a venue that I work with a lot in Milwaukee in September, and last September. And he said, I'm a big fan of your quarantine show, especially when you do your cast reunions. And I wonder what you're doing to monetize that. And I thought, well, apparently nothing. And he said, well, as a major Broadway tour presenter and a venue that will likely remain dark for another year, I think there's great value in this content that you're creating, because I would love to be able to offer my season subscribers a chance to meet the original Broadway cast of Hadestown while they're waiting for our doors to reopen so they can come and see Hadestown. And he planted that seed, and Robert and I started talking about it and what our goals were and whatnot. And meanwhile, last month we launched the Broadway Cast Reunion Series, which is a twice-a-month event. We started with Frozen. We did Hadestown. We had the director and the writer, Anais Mitchell and Rachel Chavkin, and 4 of the principals. Next week, we have Dear Evan Hansen. This is going to go on. We've committed to do this through July. And venues are offering this as a gift of engagement to their patrons to keep them connected. And then it's offered on Stellar Tickets, which is a virtual platform that Gold Star created. And in fact, today, Robert and I were invited to be part of the Stellar Academy. I feel very scholarly because evidently our show is very popular, and they interviewed us on how to successfully navigate the virtual world. I think we did okay.
Yes.
We flew by the seat of our pants, but the numbers are good. The numbers are good. So that's good. Anyway, what we're doing is we're reuniting casts of shows that were to be on tour so that venues can share that with their patrons. And I just want to share with you, because I am so proud of it, and literally every time I watch this, it just makes me happy. When we were about to launch this series, I thought, we need a theme song, Robert. We need a theme song, because every talk show host worth anything has a theme song. So I reached out to my dear, dear friend, Johnny Rogers, and I said, Johnny, can you write me a theme song? And he said, well, text me some adjectives about what you're doing, and I'll see what I can do. And then our good friend, Jonathan Hawkins from The Muse Presents, video the whole thing, and this is what we ended up with.
Pour yourself a cocktail, crack a bottle of wine. We're swinging with the stars without standing in line. Fishing with the divas, hanging with the hunks. Every time they hit the stage, they're all slam dunks. Sparkling conversation, inside information, a bona fide Broadway backstage education. Break out the bubbly, it's time for toast with your lovable, laughable, affable host. So hold on tight, we're hot to go on the Broadway Cast Reunion Show.
So much fun.
So much
this
fun.
Wednesday, come check. Jordan Fisher will be here, and a whole bunch of the cast of Dear Evan Hansen. Go behind the curtain.
It's sort of a combination of the Broadway cast and the tour cast on Wednesday. Fun. And all the information is at BroadwayCastReunion.com. So please join us. And speaking of Broadway, that was a segue. That's what they call it.
That was good. You're like Barbara Walters, Lee.
We have the original Broadway principal cast of Mamma Mia with us, which just makes me so excited, and it's hard to believe that it's been 20 years.
Oh boy.
20 years.
I can't believe that either. From being in the Winter Garden and seeing this show the first year, it was wow. I
actually saw the show when it was in LA because Louise Pitre, who was starring in the show, who did the Canadian run of the show, was here. It was at the Schubert Theater, which sadly isn't even here anymore. And her manager had reached out to me to release her album on my record label, LML Music. So I remember going to the Schubert and going back to her dressing room and talking about, the album release and everything. And then they did the national tour, and then it ended up on Broadway. And
what a phenomenon it's been.
I mean, I think this was the first jukebox musical ever. I think there was one jukebox musical a few years before in London, but not on Broadway. I think this was it paved the way. So anyway, here's a taste for the three of you that haven't seen Mamma Mia.
Who hasn't seen it?
Here's a taste, and then we're going to meet the cast.
I was cheated by you, and I think you know when. So I've made up my mind, must come to an end. Look at me now, will I ever learn? I don't know how, but I suddenly lose control. There's a fire within my soul. Just one look and I can hear a melody. One more look and I forget everything. Oh, Mamma Mia, here I go again. My, how can I resist ya? Mamma Mia, now the show again. My, just how much I miss ya. Yes, I've been broken hearted. Ooh, since the day we parted. Why did I ever let you go? Mamma Mia, now I really know. My, I should not have let you go. Anybody could be that guy. Night is young and the music's high. With the fear of music, everything is fine. You're in the mood for dance. And when you get the chance, you are the dancing queen, young and sweet, only 17. Dancing queen, feel the beat from the tambourine. Oh yeah, you can dance, you can jive, having the time of your life. See that girl, watch that scene, she's the dancing queen. See that girl, watch that scene, she's the dancing queen.
Hey!
Oh my God. Wow.
How?
I love
Those
the
heels.
jumping up and down.
Oh my God.
That was so sweet.
That was
How
really
did you
nice.
do 8 shows a week in those heels?
They were comfortable.
Oh, they were.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They were fun because
It's all about the high platform to go with the high heel. It was fine. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, by the time that sounded
that was the
in the
easy
audience,
part.
you can't watch that and not have the biggest smile on your face. The audience's reaction, I'll never forget sitting through the show and getting to the curtain call. The joy in that theater every single night was off of the charts. It must have been some wild ride for all of you, to say the least.
It was. I remember on opening night, actually, even the first preview, Judy said, because I'd never certainly experienced that rush of, especially right after 9/11. I mean, the people's energy was overwhelming. And Judy said it's like, this is probably the closest we'll ever come to, being rock stars. It was amazing.
Yeah. And Louise, you had done, I don't know how long your run was in Canada, but then you did 18 months on tour because this show did a U.S. tour before going to Broadway.
Yeah.
So how many years total?
I got 3.5 altogether.
Wow.
It's crazy. Yeah. A long time.
A long time.
A long time.
Well, you all look fantastic.
Yeah, it's so nice to see everybody.
I know.
Isn't it fun?
Mm.
Tina, you're during, at least, I don't know when you started this, but during this quarantine, I've been watching the videos that you post, and you are hysterical. You are just hysterical.
Thank
You have
you.
brought me many, many a much needed smile and laugh.
Thank you so much. I think we all needed a little laughter to get us out of the doldrums of quarantine. And I was just recently getting over a back surgery, which I had trouble recovering from my vocal cords getting paralyzed. So I kind of dived into TikTok and just started making a fool out of myself or being myself. And it gave me my voice back again. It kept me off medication. So I'm glad to hear that it made you smile. I appreciate it.
It did. Robert and I were just talking today about how we literally do not even understand what TikTok is. But I think it's just my age. I don't know.
I can send you some free merch if you like.
I like that shirt.
I will follow you.
I will follow you on the TikTok.
Love your face. That's what it is. I feel like everybody's always wearing masks and stuff, and I just started saying to everybody like, "Oh, I love your face," and it just kind of became a thing. So then,
wow,
there we
I
go.
love that saying.
What a shameless plug! I'm awful.
That's what we're here for. That's why we're here. Shamelessly plug
That
away.
is our game. That is our game.
Love your face on TikTok. Find it, buy the merch.
There you go.
I spent a bit of time today, going down the Wikipedia hole, as it were. Because Louise, I know you pretty well. Karen, I know you pretty well. But Tina and Judy and Joe, I know you, but I don't really know you. So I just wanted to educate myself. And
it's the
Judy,
deep questions coming.
It appears on the interweb that you have done 723 Broadway shows. No, you've done 14 Broadway shows. Yes.
I'm old, but I haven't done.
No, 14 Broadway shows. That's amazing. And you were about to open in this new musical, Diana. Tell us about that, and will that still happen?
Well, yeah, actually, the last time I saw these ladies, I was spilling the beans on something that we did do, which was, and now it's in the can, so I can talk about it for sure. We shot it for Netflix. We bubbled up, and 200, the cast, a crew, a film crew. We went into the theater. It took about a month to do all of it. We also did record the album, and we shot the movie. 9 cameras, no audience.
Wow!
All these. It was an amazing experience. It really was.
Wow.
And
were you in the theater, Judy?
Yeah.
Were you in the
theater on set?
Oh, how nice!
Yes, in the theater. Yeah.
They
took out all the seats and they made platforms everywhere, and they put up cameras everywhere you could imagine. And we had a big boom camera that came in and sort of invaded us.
That's
sort
so
of felt
good.
like a colonoscopy. Actually, it was so. It's really
Only more
something.
pleasant, and it pays.
Right. So when will that air? Do you know when that will air?
When Netflix wants to air it. I think it takes longer to do these things than we ever imagined, including the fact that they have to dub the thing in 35 languages.
Wow.
I hope it's like April. They said it was going to be the first quarter of this year.
Right.
And then when they all say we can, we'll be back in that theater telling this story again. Live and in person.
That's right.
We can't wait.
Oh, wow.
At the Longacre.
That's amazing.
That's
It is amazing.
I'm
It's truly
excited.
amazing.
I'm excited.
Me too.
Now, Joe, you made your Broadway debut in Mamma Mia, but you had done the national tour of Footloose.
Yep, correct.
Before that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what was your segue from Broadway to Uber agent?
Yes.
Well, I was doing the show. I was in it 3 years. And the third year, Devin Cudell, who was our general manager at the time, said to me, he's like, "Have you ever thought about being an agent?" Because I was thinking, trying to take my business acumen and meet it with the creativity. So during the day, I was interning at a small agency called the Lucky Agency. And Penny Lucky took a chance on me, and I worked there during the day and did the Broadway show at night. And I couldn't wait to get up in the morning to go there. And then I applied online, entertainmentcareers.net. There was a large bi-coastal agency is looking to expand their office in New York. So I met with a headhunter, and I had never done the business side. So I met with a headhunter at Elbow and Pound. And I was like, is this really done? It felt very weird. I was like, I'm in a fast food restaurant. And then I called my sister, who was in the business world, and I was like, was this legit? And then the woman said, if you don't get this job, I'm quitting the business. And so then I started at CAA as the floater, which a floater is someone who gets everyone coffee and picks up their tickets to Broadway shows. And so then I did that, and then I slowly worked my way up the ladder there. Yeah.
Wow. And now you're the head of the theater department.
Yes, I work alongside a very, very fun group of people there. Yeah.
And it all started over broccoli cheddar soup at Au Bon Pan, literally?
Were you there?
No.
That's exactly what it was. I ordered the broccoli cheddar soup.
That's insane. That is insane, sir.
And if you saw the woman who walked in, was so like befuddled, and I was like, this can't be right. Because I thought it was CAA because they said it was down in the Flatiron District, and I knew that's where CAA had their offices at the time. Now we're in the Chrysler Building, but I was like, this is for CAA?
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Oh, that's
amazing.
So nice.
But I have to say,
there was a woman in the original cast of Mamma Mia with us, Janine Morick. And when I started at CAA, we had gone out for drinks maybe like 2 years later. And she goes, you seem very different. I was like, why? She goes, it's like Cinderella found her glass slipper. And it was like, I actually felt like very comfortable. I finally was comfortable in my own skin.
Oh.
But with this job, like I found like what I was meant to be doing. Yeah.
That's
Cool.
that's so good. And I must say that I think I chatted with you during Mamma Mia a little bit on like social media or whatever. And over the last 20 years, and I knew that you had become an agent. I didn't realize, exactly who you were representing and everything like that. And whenever I was trying to reach, because I book a lot of Broadway artists for concerts, and I would email you, and you always responded immediately. And you know what? It really means something because, if I realized, at the moment that, you were representing who you represent, I would have been nervous to reach out to you, but I didn't know. But I knew who you were. So you were always so kind. So I appreciate it. And it's so great. I say this all the time on this show. If I had $1 for every time I've said this, Robert and I could both retire. But I love it when really great things happen to really good people.
Good people.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take it. It's very sweet. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, now after that email responses, you're going to get thousands of unsolicited emails.
Wait till tomorrow.
I just emailed my assistant, Lee.
Sorry, Joe, I have prepared a monologue and an upset for
I was
tonight,
ready.
so
My
let's
headshot.
get that out of the way. I'm still looking for representation. So do you need cleavage? I don't know. What works? What works?
Done.
I love it.
I don't think we could talk about Mamma Mia and not talk about the music, right? The music, ABBA, and the music. When you guys were approached about this, or when you guys auditioned, or I don't know how your journey to the show happened, what was your initial thought about a Broadway musical based on music, a jukebox musical before it was a thing, and ABBA music at that? Did you think this was going to work? Did you think this was the best idea, the craziest idea? When you first heard about it, it was a jig, paycheck. It's a gig.
No, I remember. So I did start in Toronto with Louise, and I remember the banners went up for Mamma Mia, and I said to my agent, oh my God, Sandy, she's like, you're totally not right for that show. And I was like, I'm going. And I went to an open call, and that's where it took me from there and into New York. So for me, I loved everything about the billboard. And when when I got sucked in with the music, to me, I didn't even think like, will the music work or not? I just loved the storyline, and I just connected with her from the beginning, and the music just happened to continue telling the story. Like for me, I don't know what it felt like for everybody else, but I was in it to win it from the beginning, whether it was going to work or not. I wanted to tell the story.
I have to be really honest. I had a long road with this show. I won the role here in Toronto, and that was the first production. I did it for a year and a half, and I thought, all the time I was doing it, I truly did not understand what the hell everybody was so excited about and why it was such a freaking huge hit. Like, I swear to God, in my worst nightmare, I would be asked to finally make my Broadway debut doing a bloody show with ABBA songs. I mean, really? I want to do Maine. I want to do Gypsy. I don't want to do that. But it was undeniable that people loved it and reacted, and it was incredible. But I really have to say, I did not realize exactly really what the effect of this show truly was for people in the audience until I went to the 10th anniversary. And Judy Kramer flew me to New York so I could be in the audience. Remember that, Tina, Joe? I saw you there too. And I saw the show, and it was like I went, oh my God, I get it. I get it. I get it. It's a fantastic story about real people who are just regular people. And yes, you love the songs, but they have done such a smart job. But it's got heart. It's got heart. And yes. I think we could not have opened at a better time on Broadway. Right after 9/11, people needed exactly that, you know? I don't know. It's an amazing phenomenon. And I tip my hat to Judy Kramer and the whole creative team. And it's done wonders for me. And I've never felt so loved doing a show. I'll say that. Yeah.
What do you think? And this is for anybody that wants to chime in, because obviously coming out of 9/11 and opening a show, it almost feels like we're coming out of another, really awful time. And theaters will reopen. I don't know when, but hopefully soon. And what do you think the new normal is going to be?
They're doing theater in Australia right now. They've reopened. Everybody, I guess, goes through some protocols, as we do. Take your temperature and you fill out a thing, but they're all sitting next to each other without masks in a theater again, watching shows and getting up on the stage and doing them. So I think we will. I don't think that, first of all, I don't think we can reopen unless we can reopen with the possibility of a full house. So, because nobody can make it. No show can make it on 50%. So there will be things we have to do. And I think we learned some of that when we were shooting the movie about what the cast has to do and what the crew has to. Crew is in full PPE. We were getting tested constantly. But not a person in those 250 people who were involved in the totality of that thing got sick. So there's a way.
Wow.
There's a way. We will do it.
Wow. What do you think, Joe, from the agent side? What's your prediction in terms of the timeline?
I mean, it's what everybody else is saying. I think we're looking at, late fall. I think there'll be a rollout, I think. But I think, it's something that Louise talked about after 9/11, having shows like this of pure joy. And you realize, at least I did, like the purpose of art. Yes. That it was, for 2.5 hours, people were able to, you don't forget, but you can at least press pause for a second. Yeah. And after 9/11, where you heard that laughter, and, it was like the first, people were saying that it was, first time that New York City was laughing, because we opened previews October 5th, I think. And I think we're ready to celebrate again. We're ready to laugh again when we all can, when it's safe. But I think I'm cautiously optimistic that when we open, we will open, and we'll be back and probably stronger than ever.
Yep.
I hope so, because
I want to do
I
it
think
too
that
soon because we don't want to have to stop.
Exactly.
I don't have to stop.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That would not be good.
No, and I think,
No,
I am not a genius. This is being said by people who are way smarter than I am, but it probably will be the last in the rollout of entertainment. Will be the Broadway theaters, because like Judy said, you can't really socially distant financially. The financial model, it doesn't work. So we'll be the last to roll out, but that's why I think we will be the celebration, because it will be, we are back.
Yeah.
Well, that first night back is going to be something on Broadway and theaters around the world. Looking at this, and especially in this formation, the relationships in the show, you three ladies relationship, your two relationship, mom and daughter's and the mom and daughter relationship, that slipping through my fingers into The Winner Takes It All. I mean, you don't have a dry eye in the house, and Louise, your version of those songs are stunning. How was it as you guys as a cast? You guys it looks like you guys have the best time and have so much fun doing the show and the videos.
Well, we are actors.
Louise.
You know what?
All right.
I don't know. We did have it was a really good group of people, and it was such a freaking fun show to do. And I don't think we were ready for the love we were going to get from the audience too. Holy jeez. It was really fantastic. Yeah.
And what was interesting too is we were all still traumatized by 9/11.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, the cast, we were in rehearsal when it happened. And it was really incredible to see how the cast came together doing good like collecting socks for firemen and all of it. Was really an incredible, selfishly bonding experience for the cast.
Yeah.
But we were still traumatized by what had happened to our city, and then to be part of that show, we had the best part of it and and the most horrible parts of it.
Right.
We're part of the healing, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And Robert, with what you were saying really quickly, the joy of that music, I don't know how many months into the run, starting with first preview, I would go on the catwalk and watch Tina sing the first notes of the show, I Have a Dream, because listening to her sing that, it was thrilling. And then I'd go back out on the catwalk to watch Louise do Winner Takes It All. Now, no other actor should be doing that. It's against the union rules. But at the time, and so I can watch it. I can listen to it. I mean, this is months into the run, but that's how much fun and thrilling it was for, at least I'll speak for myself, listening to that music night after night, and 3 years in, never got old.
Wow. Did you all stay with the show for the same amount of time, or no?
No. One of us was let go of the trio.
It was me.
Thanks, Joe, for stepping up. No, Louise and Judy stayed for an extra year. I left after the first year. And then Louise and Judy. And Tina, you stayed till the end? Or till the end of when Judy and Louise were there?
No,
I
left when Louise and Judy left. Yes.
Yeah, we were dismissed after 2 years.
Yeah.
They didn't want to keep anybody
dismissed.
Longer than 2 years. We were.
And Joe, when did you leave?
It was fine.
After the third year.
Third year.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
You were the long
It was a good
haul.
thing they kicked me out because my body was starting to break down. No, and I'm still paying for it. The wages of physical comedy have visited
Well,
me
that
heavily,
rake stage was hard.
I had no idea how miserable it was. Because when I returned to a rake stage when I was doing Wicked, my body sort of said, "What the heck are you doing?" It was very painful. It was not good. So, yeah, it was good they kicked me out the back door.
And how have you all been doing during this shut down, and what are you doing to stay creative and sane and all that?
I've been baking
Love your
a little
face.
too much.
Oh, that's
Same.
fun.
I didn't hear you.
Judy's been baking.
Me?
Oh,
Oh.
baking.
I've been baking. Yeah, I gotta
Oh,
stop
yeah. I
that.
started baking in like March and April, and then realized that was going to be a problem.
Can't do anymore.
I've stopped baking.
Yeah.
I've stopped baking.
That's it. Because if I bake it, I eat it, you know.
Right?
Well, I wish I lived closer to you, Judy. I'd help you out with all that baking.
For me, I got
Yeah.
I found some great people on TikTok that I've been writing with, and I don't know, maybe one day it'll turn into sketches will turn into screenplays. I don't know, but it's been amazing. I've made some incredible friends that I think will probably last like a lifetime. But if anything, it's quarantine in a way for me. It sounds a little strange, but it was a little bit of a blessing, because it made me slow down the kid life, because my kids are being homeschooled now. So we're all at home together. So when they're doing schoolwork, it's like, well, what do? I can vacuum, or I can write and create. So I think I'll write and create. Okay, and then I'll vacuum, whatever. But I really found it like I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like somebody just tapped on my shoulder and said, it's okay. Now we're going to slow down and let's really like evaluate what it is that you want to do. Like, because eventually when my kids go to college, it's like, so what am I going to do then? Just retire on a beach with my husband? That sounds boring. Ugh. He's listening.
I hope he's not watching.
He totally is. He has Wi-Fi in this condo, and I just don't have Wi-Fi. So I'm at a parking lot in like a stable where baby Jesus was born, and this is where I'm literally getting Wi-Fi, like in a bed of hay.
So funny.
But I just, for me, I've just loved writing, and I hope it'll just bring me into just another level, maybe into my career, and maybe back to Broadway. I would love to go back to Broadway. Maybe Judy should do a 20-year show. No, nobody.
There you go. You made Judy.
You're on your own there.
Yeah,
There you go.
You're on your own.
Joe, do you ever feel the bug?
Oh my God, no.
No bug. No bug. Bug free. Okay.
Not one day. It is
right.
surprising and shocking. My mom, it makes no sense to her, but not for a second. It's wild.
That's great. It's great. It's great. Karen, you've been doing like a whole series of like virtual concerts.
Yeah, a whole year of them.
I
started last April, yeah. And what's been interesting, I was getting bored. And so, and I had been sick the year earlier with stuff. And so I had to cancel some work. And so to be able to, I just wanted to do something. And also, you know, with the whole self-taping thing that this newfangled thing that was happening. And suddenly I thought, I don't know how to do this. So I was watching all of these, you know, these little interviews and YouTube videos. And I thought, okay, I'm going to try it once. I'm just going to start doing videos and start singing on Thursday at 5:00. And what was fascinating is, you know, I do a lot of cabaret stuff too. And you have 60 to 100 people, and you're seriously most of the time hoping you're going to have a full house. And the first 3 nights, the first 3 Thursdays I did it, I had 3,000 viewers. And you go, wow, that is the nuttiest thing I've ever seen. And so I've been doing it for a year. You know, it's like I sing to tracks. I have the music from my 7 CDs, and I sing to that. And I find that I'm doing the least challenging songs these days because, you know, I don't want to work so hard.
Right.
But it's been fascinating.
To do it in isolation like that. I've had a difficult time. It's not really fun for me to be singing without Yeah, to do it that way. And
I don't like singing to tracks. Yeah. I don't.
Yeah,
Singing to
and
tracks
yeah.
is hard.
I have to say, I
is
have not had the desire to sing. It's the weirdest thing, but I have really not been singing at all. I was asked to do a couple little fundraiser things. I did that online, but so I've actually, the one thing, I'm studying my Italian every single day. God damn it, I'm going to learn that language if it kills me. And we've written a musical for children. That's what we've been.
wow, that's
Joe and I and Diane, who's my accompanist and our great friend, like we've been doing this now for almost a year, and we have a really good solid draft, and we're very excited about it. I'm very happy. We're going to have something concrete maybe to show for all this time. And I've always wanted to write a musical for children. So we have a company interested in maybe turning it into an animated series. So we're super excited.
wow.
Oh, that's great, Louise.
I know.
Yeah.
That's been the big creative thing. That's it. Not
That's
singing.
big
It's
and
almost,
creative.
it's like this is showing us what retirement can be or will be or is. I don't know. But it's a very bizarre thing, isn't it? It's like an
It is bizarre.
imposed long rest and break. It's really, what a thing we're living. What a thing.
Yeah.
But I
But you
think
all,
people will emerge. Everybody will emerge, differently. Everybody. I mean, it will not affect anybody, and so it's good though. But artistically, I think that as artists, we're deeply affected because our work is all about connecting with an audience, and we're so isolated that it's a huge difference, so it'll be interesting to see how this, plays out.
It's going to be shocking for me because I've gotten so used to singing to that little hole in my computer
yes.
and having no one respond that when people actually do respond, it's going to be a shock.
Oh,
Do you think about
hold for a laugh?
Yeah, that's right. I won't know how to do it.
do you think about what that first performance on a stage is going to feel like?
Oh,
No.
it's going to be joy. It's going to be shocking and joyous.
It's going to be kind of like when Mamma Mia opened. Remember the first preview we did, and the theater was sold to probably it was a benefit, and there were a lot of young men there that night, as I recall, in suits. And when we got to the mega mix, all these young guys with their ties all loosened, and this look of like, came racing down toward the stage. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
It'll probably be like that. It'll be like, oh my God, I've been hungry for this.
Yeah.
It's like there's, starving in the desert.
truly a new renaissance in a sense, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a couple photos I want to share.
Yes, please.
I have a couple of photos. Louise, this is your bow on opening night. I think you literally are elevated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm off the floor. Look at that.
I know. And then when you
Yahoo.
check this out, this is on the Today Show. Joe, you're not going to believe it. You're a baby.
Oh my goodness.
Look at
Look at that.
Time has not been kind.
No, that is not true.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
Oh my
Not true.
God. Look at you. Look at you.
And look at the infant Michael Benjamin Washington.
I
Yeah.
know.
Look at
God.
the baby
I
Michael
know.
Benjamin Washington. God.
Wow.
He's on his
And there's
way to
Louise with
Walter
Benny and Bjorn.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little trip down memory lane.
Wonderful.
yeah, really.
Did you guys meet the members? Like you just were talking about, like the creative team, and then the team of ABBA. What you must have met some ABBA super fans and the group itself, I'm sure. Did you guys know people that have seen the show 50, 60, 70, 100 times? Because we heard from people who saw it hundreds of times.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can see why it was addictive though, because it was happy and it was
It's fun.
and it's warm. It's not, but honestly, I think there were jukebox musicals before Mamma Mia. Wasn't Eight
Really?
Misbehavin' a jukebox musical?
Yeah.
Isn't a jukebox
I have to
musical?
say, this was so
Out of those
well
super
crafted,
fans,
though.
there was this woman named
I
Tina,
think
will
that's
remember, but
what-
her name was Tina Blakeman, and she saw the show like 57 times. She became my mortgage broker, and I just saw her the other day. And she's in Palm Beach, Florida, and every time I talk to her, she's like, "I just moved from Bank of America. I'm now at another bank." She was a super fan, and she was lovely. When Tina and I would talk to her all the time, and 20 years later, I'm actually working with her.
That's amazing.
I love that.
That's amazing.
Oh my God, that's great. Yeah, yeah. No, I remember one person who used to come with their ticket stubs, and they had them in a big elastic, and eventually they had 2 humongous stacks. I don't know how many times that person had seen the show, like 200. I'm not kidding. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah.
As for meeting the original members of ABBA, this will make Tina laugh. I used to be with her when they would come in to say hello to her, and I swear they looked at me like, "You should be in the show." I had been in the show for 3 years. And then cut to when the movie came out, I was on the other side, and we represent, Meryl and many people on thing. And I was there with Judy at the premiere in London, Judy Kramer. And when she introduced me to them again, I was like, I was in the show. We met 20 times. And she still looked at me like,
That is amazing.
He still could be in the show.
yeah, but
That
now
is
it's
amazing.
Sam. Now they'd be like, "Oh, you're too old for Sam."
Now you're dead. No. That's
We actually, when we were in
Crazy.
Toronto, it was before opening night. It was Benny and Bjorn were there. And Louise, I don't remember if you remember when Eddie was playing at the piano, and it was that last part of Water, like, gig, and all of a sudden Benny just swooped right in.
Yeah.
And it was literally just like everybody just went,
Yeah.
it was amazing. And then that night we screeched everybody in. I was like, because I'm from St. John's, Newfoundland, and I was like, they had to experience this. They were fascinated with the culture, and we had a big, huge screech in. My mom, my stepdad, my family was all there. So they were never I felt like they weren't removed from the process. I felt like they were always just kind of, they were part of the family, really. And Judy and Phillida, they were exactly the same way. And David Grinrod, they always made me feel like it didn't matter who you were, they remembered your face, and they kind of, unless you were Joe, apparently. But I do feel like they made you feel like, you were part of the family. And Joe, I will say, I do remember every time they were like, "So did you hear?" He'd be sitting on my couch and be like, "Did you hear they're here tonight?" I'm like, I know. Do I look thin? Am I thin enough? Am I thin? He's like, "You look great." He's look great. And then they'd knock on the door and he's like, "Here it comes." And they'd walk in, they'd give me kisses, and Joe would be sitting there and he's like, it was so funny. It's so funny to hear these stories because you don't think about them until you hear somebody else tell them, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I remember that now."
I
God,
love
you
those
guys.
I
20 years
adored
ago.
them. I really did. I thought they were amazing. But then we got to know them in Toronto, and then again in New York. So maybe it was almost like we already knew each other and saw each other again.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I love those 2 guys, and Judy Kramer. I have nothing but the utmost respect for her. Smart.
Didn't we meet? Oh my God, I'm sorry. It's not Frito Lay. Frida Falafala. The female.
Yeah, one of them came to
3 words. She was in LA with us. We did meet her there.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
Well, if you guys were the first jukebox musical or not, you guys were duplicated, and many shows came after you guys, and you guys really made the mold. You guys really were at the forefront of what has become a theater phenomenon since. And it was you guys that started it, truly.
Wow.
We were part of that beginning. Not the beginning, but we were part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I saw somebody posted that they just wish that we had been able to make a CD and the album from the Broadway company. That would have been nice.
I am so glad we
That would
did
have
it.
been great.
Really?
You know what?
Oh my God. I would be mortified now.
What was
That is pretty selfish, Machota.
Yeah.
I'm completely selfish on that one. So glad it didn't happen.
Oh, I wish.
Yeah.
I wish too. I begged them, but didn't happen.
What was the reasoning
Well,
behind it?
They already had the
Very
London
expensive, and they
Palladium.
already had one.
And gee whiz,
Yeah,
I guess
same thing
they
happened
weren't
with Phantom
making
of the
enough.
Opera.
I guess they weren't making enough money to pay for a recording
Right.
Broadway.
Right.
You know, it was going to be another close to $500,000, and they had it down already. They didn't care. Same thing happened with Phantom of the Opera. And only at Phantom of the Opera they did a really naughty thing. When we opened in New York, they put a little banner on the album, and they were trying to sell it as the same cast because the Phantom and Sarah Brightman and may he rest in peace, Steve, were still playing those roles. The rest of us were all different. So they tried to sell it as the original cast, Broadway cast.
Wow.
Didn't they do that with Mamma Mia too? Didn't they do that at the very beginning? Say that it was the Broadway cast.
No, I don't.
Broadway.
They might have tried, but they didn't.
I thought they in the merchandise. I thought they did have it like the Broadway company.
Really?
The Broadway cast album.
No, it said original cast.
Yeah.
They had a little sticker, and it was the
Original
cast, but it
cast.
was the
I
London
That's
cast.
shady.
Yeah.
So it was a
Wordy.
bit misleading, maybe, you know, like just.
Yeah.
I'm so.
That's why I drink.
All right.
Tina, how can people find you on the TikTok? Where do they go?
Yes, we're here to plug away.
What do you? Oh my god! Oh my god! I'm such an idiot. I'm sorry. I am on TikTok as Tina Madlibs. You can still find me as Tina Maddigan Mayer.
Tina Madlibs.
Madlibs.
One word.
One word. Yeah. Madlibs. Because there's a million different Madlibs going on in my brain at one time.
Just like that. Just like that.
Oh, wow! This is like
We're very high tech here. We're very,
Oh my
very
God.
professional.
Hello,
I have a
streamer.
crew of 16 people.
We don't
on
mess
my-
around. We don't mess around.
Isn't
And I
it
can't
funny
even
though?
download Google Chrome. Great.
It's amazing though what you have to push yourself to learn. Karen, you just kind of touched on this. What you have to push yourself to learn.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you want to stay bouncing around with these young kids, well, I mean, it's just incredible how much technology is now into this. I mean, you can go viral with one video, but it takes so much more than that. But Tina is hilarious. Love her on TikTok.
See, it's a whole new, it's a new career.
I know. Well, Peg,
Of course, Peg, ask your question, Peg.
Ask your question. We'll answer. Another Tina lover. Look,
Tina
Oh my
Lover.
God, I love your
This
face.
is Tina Lover.
I love
I
it.
love
And-
this.
Karen, are you still doing your shows? Where can we listen to your live shows?
Well, actually, I'm going to stop doing them.
Okay.
I'm going to do a few more. But now that live performing's coming back, I'm just because I have actually a couple of outdoor dates coming up and a couple of indoor things coming up. And you know what? I just want to be performing live. If I'm going to be doing it, I'm performing live.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to do a few more, but it's on Facebook and YouTube. Thursdays at 5 Eastern.
Thursdays at 5.
Thursday at 5 Eastern.
Can you tell me where people can find it on
Sure.
the
Facebook. Well, you can go to my Facebook page or at Karen, my YouTube channel.
and it's both Karen Mason.
Yep. Easy.
And it's
I'd call it
Thursdays at
Tina
5.
Madigan, Tina Madlibs if I could, just 'cause.
Yes, get those views. Get those views.
Friend
Perfect.
of Tina
Get those
Madlin.
views.
There we go. Facebook,
There you go.
and YouTube.
There we go. Wow, you are a fast typer.
We don't
my
mess
friend.
around. We don't mess around.
Great.
I love it.
You
let's
all-
see if we have some. Oh. I saw Louise and Tina in Toronto, Chicago, and Broadway premiere, and then Louise at Carnegie Hall in Christina. That was fantastic.
What is Christina?
Oh my God. It's this incredible musical about this Swedish family that ends up in Minnesota. And the music is fantastic.
Wow.
And Louise did a concert of it in Carnegie Hall. And then didn't you go to Royal Albert Hall as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is
Oh, yeah.
Vicky and Bjorn.
Yeah.
Ah.
Full symphonic sing-through orchestra on stage, whole cast. Yeah, it was really wonderful. And so we got to do it in Carnegie Hall, rehearsed blah, blah, and then did it at Royal Albert Hall. And we did 2 or 3 performances, I can't remember, 2, I think, at Royal Albert Hall. And Joe, my husband, came to meet me over there to see this concert. And then, remember that huge volcanic
Hong Kong.
eruption that happened that canceled flights in the world?
Right.
Well, that happened when we were in London and we had just done our 2 concerts at Royal Albert Hall. So we were stuck in London for an extra 5 days.
Oh, so sad.
You know what?
Damn.
It was so amazing. And I had to start shooting. I was hosting a TV series here that was about to start. And I missed the first few days of shooting. They had to reschedule because of that. But what could you do?
Right,
So we
right.
stayed in London. Joe and I had the best time ever, like a gift holiday. And then we came home and went back to real life. That was a short
fun
thing, as opposed to what we're living now, which is going on forever. But whatever.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
Well, I cannot tell you what a joy it is to see all of you. And we have so many people watching and writing to us, and they've been messaging us because this musical really had an impact on people. I think it just what brought so much joy to people. And hard to believe that it's 20 years. Hard to believe.
I don't know. Feels like it.
You all look fantastic. Feels like it.
And you made a lot of people. You made a lot of
people.
A lot of people.
A lot of happy. A lot of happy.
Ah.
Yeah. So
Louise, are you going to sing "Winner Takes It All" right now?
Of course.
Yes. Take it away.
Just give me another go.
If I needed to prepare like something that was dramatic, I thought I would sing that for Joe as my audition. So
Perfect.
I mean, 16 bars, maybe?
Yes, 16 bars. Go.
The last 16 bars,
with
though.
my internet.
We're all going to sound really good right now because our voices are really rested.
Yeah.
Yes, true.
Oh my God.
Well, we get to pick the key. That's good.
That's true. It's just so wonderful to see you all. I mean, it's
Truly.
just amazing. I don't know. We grew up somehow.
I know.
I didn't, but you all, Joe, you look so grown up.
I know. Look at that.
I know.
I have a real job now.
He does
Just remember, I have so much blackmail on you, so be nice.
Oh, hey, anything you need, Tina, anything you need.
I love you so much.
Tina, that's why you haven't heard from him in 20 years.
That's right.
I don't remember her. That's so weird. Thank you both for bringing us together. It's really great. This is the first time we've all met, probably since
Thank you all
Thank you all so much.
We
Thank
love
you guys.
You. Stay safe.
Well.
And we hope to see you all,
Much love to all
except
of
you, Joe, on stage again.
Right.
Soon.
Love you all.
Soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Love your face.
Anytime.
Did we do it? Did we do it? Did it work? It worked. It worked. Ah!
Anytime Lee asks me to help.
Anytime I give you
we go.
instructions that are
We go,
specific,
I thought I did the top.
you do the
Please.
opposite.
Now we know. Now we know. If you say do the top row, I'm going to do the bottom row. If you say do
I
the
was
bottom,
going to say something
I didn't
that
say
I
it.
actually wouldn't regret,
I didn't say it.
but I might, so I'm not going to say it. Anyway, that was joyful. That was
That
really
was so much fun. They
That was
were
so
so,
fun.
so sweet.
I know.
And you all watching it in your comments to see you guys excited. It's
I
an
know.
exciting show. It's really fun to see people excited to see our guests.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Next week, it's comedy week. It's comedy
is.
week.
It's kind of a fancy show.
Kind of fancy for us.
Right.
Who do we have? We
We have
Tommy Davidson from the original cast of In Living Color on Fox, and we've got Bruce Valanche, the brilliant from Hollywood Squares, and he writes the Oscars. And oh my God, he's so funny. That's next week. We're excited about that. But on Wednesday, on the Broadway cast reunion, we have Dear Evan Hansen, and we could not be more excited. Just go to BroadwayCastReunion.com. All the information is there. Single tickets are $15, and it's going to be a really, really great show. It's a combination of the Broadway company and the tour company all together. So that's going to be fun. But thank you so much for joining us. And thank you to Louise and Karen and Judy and Tina and Joe. What a joy.
What a joy. So much fun.
I know. So much
Another
fun.
big week next week, Lee.
Take care. Stay safe.
Stay safe.
Wear the mask. See you then.
And we'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.